Welcome to Crimson Courage. Today we have an amazing guest. He's an author of an amazing book. The book is called Kavirondo, the story of Luos and Luhyas. And his name is Kenyatta Otieno. On the book, he introduces himself as a geologist and a practicing hydrogeologist who loves to write. He has been a contributor for the People Daily, the Nairobi Law Monthly, and a columnist for the Nairobian. He is also the author of Run Your Race and Win a Gold Medal. Karibu sana Kenyatta Otieno.
Yes, asante sana Tracy, and I'm so happy to be here.
Right.
Yes.
Even in your book, you've gone ahead to really describe yourself.
Okay.
So there's a part,
Yes.
you describe yourself with a lot of I am not.
Okay.
So like for example, on page 23, you wrote, I am not a historian, but someone with the eye for stories behind the way people live.
Yeah.
Another part you said you are not a linguist.
Yes.
Another part you've said I'm not a lot of things. So just tell us, who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
Yes, Otieno Kenyatta is a Kenyan of Luo descent. Yes, a Kenyan of Luo descent, a husband and a father to two lovely children. Outside of that, I am a hydrogeologist. I help people with their needs around a borehole. I love people and I love to write. I'm a person who can have a conversation with a matatu driver, a matatu conductor, have a conversation with a 6-year-old child I'm just eating for the very first time. I can also have a conversation with just random anybody. So that's what I love. And now from that is how now I get material to write.
You said my main guiding light for this book has been Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, The Danger of a Single Story. She spoke about this in a TED Talk and gave it in 2009. And according to her, single stories create stereotypes that curtail our thinking into a single label for people.
Yeah.
I thought this was amazing.
Yes. I never knew that that TED Talk would always end up in my book, because the day I just bumped into it online, I just loved it. And over time, I would just listen to it, and every time I listen to it, I'd hear it differently. So, and it made me to always ask that we always judge people by stereotypes, and often these stereotypes are just things that we've heard, things that we've told. So rarely would a person go out of their way to know and understand another tribe or another group of people in his or her own way. So to me, Chimamanda is one of the greatest writers of our time. And so with that, she helped me to begin not to accept single stories as they are, to always ask, why is this story being pushed? Why is this person really interested in this angle of narrative? So when I asked such questions, then I get my answers, and also that is how I ended up with Kavirondo.
Okay.
Yes.
This is actually a very rich story. It's the story of two tribes that from outsiders, it looks like one.
Yeah.
And you've spoken about women in storytelling.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the history of Luos and Luhyas, what big role do you think women took in actually merging the two tribes?
Yes. My own dad has passed away in 2022. And if he ever told me a story, it was rare It was rare and not much. But my grandmother told me very many stories. She is the one who gave me our history as a family. So from there, I began to love history, and always like, it means that everybody who claim to be a resident of an area now has a story of how they ended up there. So the African woman, not only Luo and Luya, the African woman is the carrier of stories. Why? Because women, by nature, they have connections. To us men, we don't appreciate human connection. We always want to do things. So as women connect with each other, they share stories. And when they share stories, they end up to learn a lot. And even a man, even you can marry a wife and bring her to your village, and within a month she will know something in that village that you as a man have never known.
That's true. That's true. We have our ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and that is what makes our African women great storytellers. Yes.
And you spoke about this in page 134, under the chapter Culture Code.
Yes.
So you explained that French-American anthropologist Colter Raphael, I hope I'm saying the name right,
yes,
tries to answer the question why we act the way we do in this book,
yes,
the Culture Code.
Yeah.
He writes, when a child is born of parents from a genetic code, it dictates his physical features. Then he goes ahead to say that the child then grows in a community that has codes for different things, which trigger different imprints. And all of these different codes from different imprints, when put together, they create a reference of how the people who live together or are from a certain culture consciously and subconsciously behave. And these reference systems are there, and it guides in different cultures. So it means in people from different areas and different cultures, they behave in certain ways. And then now you went ahead and said, under the Luo code, Luos love life. They eat life with a big spoon. Even if all they own is a wooden spoon, they carve them out bigger in size and from the best wood. And then the anthropologist, Edward Pichard, said that Luos are very remarkable people, tough, resilient, and deeply democratic, easily aroused to violence, and immensely proud.
I've written that Luos are juvenile.
What do you mean by juvenile?
That is our culture code. Have a look at it like this. A child is honest, and Luos are one of the most honest people. We say it as it is. Yes, and a child also is creative. Will always be creative with whatever is there, a toy, a what. They'll always want to do things their own way. And Luos are creative in music, in art, in works that involve hand and all that. But Luos also forget very fast. If you have a look at the history of Kenya, we have really suffered a lot of injustices, election rigging, but every time it happens, it's like now Luos are all singing about Ruto being the best of the best. Whatever happened in 2022, 2013 is forgotten. Only a child would be like that. a child will be angry now, then the next time they are happy and they have forgotten all that happened. So that's a Luo thing. And then to a child doesn't have a look at context. To him, if everybody is having a sweet, everybody should have a sweet, and there should be equal number of sweets. Yeah, you will not explain to them that his one is older, he should have one. They will not understand. So, and you see, Luos are also very democratic, and democracy is about equity, and so that is how I ended up to say that the Luo culture code is juvenile. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And even when you look at it,
Yeah.
we come from a certain area
Yeah.
that is like, along large water
Bodies.
areas,
Yeah.
like the river Nile
Like,
and the Lake Victoria.
Yeah.
So even if you look at the conditions that really affect us,
Yeah.
for example, sickle cell disease,
Yeah.
HIV and AIDS,
Yeah.
and even genetically some conditions like stammering.
Yes.
I wonder, is it because of maybe our blood?
Yeah.
Is it because of maybe how we decided to intermarry with, Bantus from the central of Congo?
Yeah.
Or is it because of just the lifestyle that comes from such areas?
Such areas.
Yeah.
It is a lot of factors. That is how Sile put it. But one thing I'll say is that Kavirondo, which is just the old Western and Anza provinces, is one of the areas with the most diverse genetic pool. So we may now be like only 2 tribes, but under it there were a lot of tribes, even Kushites, maybe other Nilotes, Nini, and all that. So all these people brought in their best and their worst. Yes. Say, for example, I am a founder member of Stammering Kenya. And just there are more Luos and Luhyas who stammer than the other people. Yeah. So you can ever tell. Yeah. And even from I got my stammering from my mother. And in her village, almost every home has a stammerer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is genetic, but also because the area welcomed people from diverse backgrounds. So they brought their best traits, but they also brought their worst. So now that is how the area has sickle cell. But sickle cell is all about high prevalence of malaria, because it's a natural defense to malaria. Yeah, but now water bodies are also known to spread epidemics easily. So now it also affected around all that, because the area was high on mosquitoes, and also it used to have a huge number of tsetse flies. So now all these would spread whatever is out there.
Yeah, and also there's a part in the book where you spoke about because of the area, you found, yes, there's that issue of malaria.
Yeah.
There's HIV,
yes,
which now that's the reason why we keep sensitizing people to know their genotype.
Yeah.
But also because of that area of water,
yeah,
there's more enjoyment.
Yes.
It's more free. And even eventually, there
Yeah.
came to be known certain diseases
Yeah.
that were called Luo diseases.
Diseases.
Like back then, there was an epidemic of
Cholera.
cholera,
Yes.
and then also HIV.
HIV. Yes. So water bodies have a culture. Yes. Where there is a water body, there'll always be a culture. And I've argued in the book that HIV/AIDS is a disease of freshwater bodies, and I've proved it his way. Yes, the counties of Luo counties, Siaya, Kisumu, Homa Bay, and also the other Migori, have a very high HIV prevalence. The highest county in the counties that have Luhyas, that has a high HIV prevalence, is Busia. So I took example of Busia. The sub-county that is to the lake is Budalangi, and it has the highest HIV prevalence in the Busia County. And then Samia also has a bit of an average higher, and then the area around crossing, the border crossing, also has a high prevalence, but it's because it has a huge influx of people from all over. But then with the north, Teso North, HIV is almost non-existent. Yeah, so with that, now I also had a look at Siaya County. Ugenya, on the upper side, has the lowest HIV prevalence. Yes, and that Andrarieda and Pondo, which are to the south and also to the lakeshore, have a high prevalence of HIV. So HIV is a disease of freshwater bodies. Even so if you have a look at Uganda, the area just between Kampala and Entebbe, which is on the shores of Lake Victoria, has the highest prevalence of HIV. And then the actual area who are Luos. So in the argument I've said HIV is a disease of Luos and freshwater bodies. Even Ethiopia. So HIV is on the highlands south Ethiopia, which has about 6 freshwater lakes. That's where HIV is highest, and in an area called Gambela, where the Luos are Anyua. So also that is where it's highest. So what happens? What happens around a water body? There is what I call in the book Bathsheba effect. My home is on the shores of a lake, and until I started to write his book, every time I would go home, I had to shower in the lake. And it's not that we don't have bathrooms at home. We do, but we just have the culture of, when you're home, you just have to dip yourself in the water and enjoy the...
That's how you know you've arrived.
That's how I know I've arrived. Okay. So, and you see, everybody has it. So I asked myself, King David in the Bible, if he had just seen Bathsheba, just walking past his palace, he would have said, and she's pretty, and maybe just let her pass. But now, she was up there on the roof, and when you are having a bath in the lake or a river, you aren't in a rush. You will take your time, you will take off your clothes, you'll even wash your clothes and hang them there on a tree or a stone and wait until they are dry. And all this time, you are just there naked. So anybody who is passing would see. So David had like, say an hour or even more just looking at the beauty of Bathsheba. And so he had a time to make a decision that now this one, I must sleep with her. So that is why I call it Al-Sheba effect. We see we'll see a woman taking a bath and we're like, wow. And maybe that woman, you wouldn't have thought about her in that sense hadn't you seen her naked. So now that has also led to high infection rates around a lake. The other thing around a lake is the timing. So in my home, people are out at 4 a.m. They are out in the lake. By around 10 a.m., they are back. So 10 a.m., he has some cash in the pocket. So he has a set fish he brought at home to be eaten. He showers, and he's idle the rest of the day.
Okay, so just to understand, you mean generally, economically, they are fishermen?
Yes.
So they leave very early, then come back, sell,
early,
and you're done?
And you're done.
Okay. So
you have the whole day, or you yourself and a trickling income. It's like here I can only compare them to touts. Touts on matatus, who earn their income every day. Yeah, so they'll always have some cash in the pocket for that woman they admire.
And they can afford.
And if they have a huge catch, they'll only offer it to that woman who is also ready to offer sex. So now there is that culture around a lake. And because of easy money, the girls, of late it has a bit improved, but back in the day, people would drop out of school at an early age because they can earn an income. By the time a person is say 12, 14 years old, he can bring something home. So why go to school? So they leave school early, the girls leave school early, and they are now adults who can have sex. So there are all these culturally issues around a lake that influenced the spread of HIV/AIDS. It just around water bodies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's even a part where you go further to explain, even culturally, how we love music and that lifestyle of going out. So you spoke of a musician who was called Biggie.
Okach Biggie.
Yes, Okach Biggie, and how in the mid-1990s he would have great shows that would have even people traveling with, driving all the way to Kisumu or taking flights just for his concerts.
Yes, Okach Biggie was a legend.
Okay.
Yes, to us who grew up in the 90s, as Luos, Okach Biggie was he revolutionized the Luo Penga music. So he was such a hit, and he was only in the limelight for like 7 years.
Okay.
And within those 7 years, a lot happened. Okach Biggie would be in Kisumu on Friday. That day, the Luos from towns, even from Nairobi, would have their cars on the road. Some would fly, and they would all be in Kisumu by 8 p.m. to enjoy Okach. And he had a way with words, especially sexual undertones. His lyrics were sexual in a sense. This is a Luo culture that before that had not had not been brought into music. Okay. It's what used to happen just with Luos behind the scene in Omol Panta. But here was a musician who would sing about the big behinds of a woman. Yes, who would sing about just a beautiful woman and even ask that woman to remove her clothes so that people can see he's not lying.
That she's truly beautiful.
Yeah, that she's truly beautiful. So it is such lyrics that would endear people to him. And obviously, after you've enjoyed such a session in dance, so what happens next? You go to look for that woman. So as a catch moved, yes, as a catch moved, HIV also, and it was also a time when HIV infections were at its peak. He rose into the limelight from around 1991, and he died in 1997. So it was a time when HIV infections was so high, and Okachi would attract crowds. Yeah, crowds, and he would sing about a woman in all her elements. Yeah. He would sing about a woman in all her elements. Yeah. And he would even ask, why should you own a person who has died in promiscuity? So he was asking, it's like he knew his HIV status, so he was asking his fans, would you come to mourn me when I die? Okay. Yeah, so it was so I've used him to just illustrate then how the Luo culture and HIV collided, and the effects were big.
Oh, okay. So even when it comes to our history, a lot is lost because we don't understand maybe our local languages, yes, and our local culture. Sure. And then a lot is also put into assumptions. Yeah. So I want to read a certain area that really made some interest, in what people really assume about Luhyas and Luos. Yeah. So in this part, you are talking about Joseph Thompson. Yeah. I think Joseph Thompson was an explorer.
Joseph Thompson was an explorer. Yes. Yes. Apparently, he was also a geologist like me. Okay. And he was sent by the Royal something in UK to come and explore a shorter route from the coast to Kavirondo. Okay. That would cross, because by then the British and other Europeans were so afraid of a Maasai. So they used to go to Tanganyika and then go to Mwanza and somehow go around a lake. But you see, it was such a long route. Okay. So they asked him to survey this road through Kenya, as we know it now. So that was around 1885, thereabout. Yeah.
So let me just read what he said about the people of Kavirondo. So he says that often during their journey from Mombasa all the way to the western side of Kenya, they often ran out of food in their journey. Some locals even became friendly so as to borrow or steal food from their camp. And the diet of these locals was mainly made up of game meat, and he describes one incident where one of his men almost lost his arm. He shot a rhino just after climbing up to the escarpment from Baringo to Elgeyo land. His hungry men rushed in to chop off chunks of the meat. he describes that they fought like hungry hyenas over the rhino meat. In the process, he had to treat one of them who came out with a deep cut in his arm. Some men were chewing chunks of raw meat. This really shocked me. And then now, this other part was amazing. This is until they descended down upon Uasin Gishu Plateau and entered Kavirondo. It was like the biblical Canaan to them.
Yeah.
From the top of the range, they saw groups of huts with smoke billowing from them and green cultivated patches around them. They entered the Cabras village and found gems living amongst them. And now, moving forward, how delicious were these good things that tasted, and with a glorious appetite, we applied ourselves to them, till sighs of satisfaction told us that the elasticity of even our digestive organs had a limit.
Yeah.
Luhyas did not only have food in plenty, they also knew how to prepare it well. So stereotypes tell only half the story. Yeah.
And we've heard at Luhyas love to eat, that it is a feeding program. It is not a tribe. But what that stereotype will not tell you is that they had a lot of food in the past. It is the only area Joseph Thompson says he didn't buy food. Everywhere else, between there and the coast, he either bought food or he had to kill some animal so that he could eat. But in Kavirondo and also among the Luhyas, he had plenty to eat until he left. So have a look at that history. These are people who had a lot of the food. They didn't have fridge. So, and you can only preserve as much.
Yeah.
So what is prepared had to be eaten. So that is how they ended up to always eat. It was more like, and I've attended a funeral recently of a Luhya woman, and her children would say her love language was food. Yeah. She would even carry food for them when they were in school abroad. She would go with it up to there, and so that's a Luhya in essence. So that stereotypes, it rarely explains where it came from, and it brings me to the essence of Chimamanda's A Danger of a Single Story, where she says that stereotypes, they are not entirely false. They just tell half the story. So now that is where the stereotypes about Luhyas and food that doesn't tell that area was rich in food, say in the past. So they have never had a problem with food. So now that is how they appear in the modern world to not to care about food. It is eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the way.
And it's revealed also in their proverbs. I've actually used proverbs as a means to help you understand people. That what is important to a people, it will be codified into a proverb, and then it is taught down generations. And Luhyas have a lot of proverbs around food.
Yeah.
They have a lot of proverbs around food. If you go to a Maragoli, for example, you will there's a proverb that says vuchima vutarinanguza savura kusamba. Vuchima vutarinanguza vura kusamba. Ugali without vegetables will burn you. If I may ask you, so what does it mean?
I can only say the top meaning that, of course, ugali
what-
without vegetables will burn you. So you need a balanced diet.
All they want to say is that don't get too involved in, say, in other people's affairs.
Okay.
You see now how, so it is actually so unrelated to food, but they had for it to be understood well, it has to be brought home with food. Yeah, so they have a lot of proverbs around food. Yep.
This is right after how Joseph
Thompson.
Thompson says that they ate to their fill. And he describes the body shape of Luhya and Luo ladies to be plus size.
Yeah.
So here are some of the proverbs. So, botsa okale, eat and be complacent.
Yeah.
So in the book you'll find so many proverbs. They're related to food,
Yeah.
but they have an inner meaning.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I would say this is actually a staple for someone who wants to understand culture.
Yeah.
Even beyond those ones who are coming from the Kavirondo area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where can people
And if I
find
may
you?
add first,
Yeah.
as much as Luos, so I will relate them now, say, to fishing, they were not originally fishermen. We were pastoralists. But the easiest way to confirm that is that we have very few proverbs on the lake and fishing. But most of our proverbs, they are about cows, cattle, and the animals in the wild where we would graze. So there's a proverb that says, which word is this? But it's like the honor is reserved for whoever the cow calves in his shift. So if both of us were assigned a herd, and a cow calves in my shift, it's me who takes the credit for that. Okay. Yeah, so you see, when we have such proverbs, it means that cows were central to our life. But now, if you have a look at Luos, we really don't appear like people who once loved cattle because it's either to fish or to farm crops. Yes, so proverbs reveal a lot about people. Okay. Yes, they reveal a lot about people. If a Luo would want to tell you that he has done everything possible, he'll say, I've gone around the world on a ship, a condo. I've gone around the world on a ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's about proverbs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And even I remember there's a part you said genetically, Luos and Luhyas exchange the best out of their genes. Like Luos exchange to Bantus, the lactose intolerant. So like Bantus could now start drinking milk.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we exchanged a lot.
And actually Luhyas helped Luos with the sickle cell gene, which now enabled us to fight malaria. Among Luos, and this is something I heard when growing up, that we women are fertile. If you want more children, has to have a Luhya wife. And it is something that cropped up from history, because Luhyas had that sickle cell gene, which means that very few of their children would die of malaria. So most of their children would grow into adulthood, unlike a Luo woman. So in a home where say a man had wives, had more than one wife, the house of a Luya woman had extra more children. So they always imagine that if you want more children, have a Luya wife. So now that is how the Luya girls were more attractive to Luos. Yes, and Ushemeji began. Yes, but what they didn't know is that these people had a natural defense against this disease that kills young children. So the end of milk. So as pastoralists, Luo had the gene that allows a human being to take milk into adulthood. Other animals, the moment you are out of breastfeeding, then you don't take milk. If you take it, you will have problems with your stomach. But now, because now the Luos had taken it, so over time, they had developed a gene that helped them to digest milk in adulthood. So they ended up to pass that gene on to Luyas, who are now able to keep cattle and also drink milk. Okay. Yeah, so it was more of an exchange. And I've written about a study that was recently done at Kenyatta University that had proved that there is no difference in the genetic makeup of a Luo and a Luya in Kenya, that is. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
So if someone would like to get the book, where are they able to get it from, or if someone wants to reach out to you?
If you want to reach out, you can reach out on 0721 596173. And if you want a copy, then there are copies at Noria Bookshop, at a bazaar. There is also the bookshop at Yaya Center on second floor, a Prestige Bookshop, and Hekaya Bookshop. Yes, they stock it, and you can have it. Or you can reach out, and I'll organize how to have one brought over to you.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
That's a whole wealth of knowledge. Thank you for the work that you did in creating this book.
Asante sana.
Next time we can have more conversations.
Yeah.
Or if you like, we can talk about your other books.
Books, okay.
Yeah. So this has been Crimson Courage. We are recording in the home of CC Hub here at iHub, James Gishuru Road, Lavington. Thank you so much, iHub, for being our home.